Hello, this is just another quick video. I'm just doing a bit of a tech day. For people that are into their audio, this is, I think the company's called Linsoul. This is the MT602. It's a hybrid tube amp. What that means is that it's got a part of the amp which is actually like a solid state, which takes the sound in, and then it passes it onto the tubes, which then add their tube sound to it, and then it comes out. Sometimes these can be the better ones. It's not the full tube sound, but sometimes the sound can be a little bit cleaner because with it being a hybrid. This one's good because of the power it's got. I think it's got something like 1300 through 32 ohms. 1300 watts. So yeah, it's very strong when it comes to the power side. Most of the ones this size, and some of the ones which are like 2-3 times bigger than this, don't do that. I think it's a class A rated for its power. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to go into this is I've had other ones, solid states, all sorts of different kind of DACs and whatnot, and I've always read about tubes, but I've never really wanted to go into it. But this was at a ridiculously good price with Black Friday, so I ended up going for this one, and yeah, impressed is not the word. Really good. These are the little two tubes that come with it. Sorry, these aren't actually the tubes that come with it. These are some I actually bought, but the ones that come with it basically look exactly the same. The orange light that you see inside, I think it's just LEDs. I think it's more so just to show you that it's actually on, or look nice, rather than the actual tubes lighting up. It's normally the bigger tubes which tend to have a glow about them that you actually know that they're on. But yeah, it's got no kind of a bad noise level or anything like that. So when there's no sound, it's clean. There's nothing hissing or anything in the background, which is really good. Which I was kind of expecting I would be able to hear, because the kind of headphones I use, you can normally hear all sorts of detail, even if it's just small. So it's nice and clean that way. As for the tubes that came with it, I'm going to try and get them out of the bag. They were the Chinese tubes, and you don't necessarily have to change them because they were very good to begin with. We got this one there. This is the 7-pin. I think it's the 6J1s or something like that. But they come with it, and out of the box it's fine. You don't need to change it. You do get some of the tube sound where it resonates more. It's open. It's really hard to explain how a tube sounds to somebody that's never heard it before. But to me, it's not as kind of clinical. It's not as digital. Even though you are listening to obviously songs which are coming through your PC or your DACs and stuff, it sounds more like you were there at the time of it being recorded, rather than it just being stored on a hard drive or something. It's quite hard to explain. I'm not the best of explaining the audiophile side of things, but yeah, it's really good. And then I was reading about the fact that if you actually change some of these around, you find what you call a matching pair. You can change the sound yet again. So the ones that came with it are, say, like the new made today Chinese ones, but there's people going on about tubes made in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, from different companies from America, Russia, and they just alter the sound because of the way that they're constructed and how the electrons pass through them. And to me that was above my head, and I was like, okay, I'll try some of these Russian ones that were from, I think, from 1960s or 1970s. They're not that expensive to buy, which is quite handy. And I got hold of some of them, and I wasn't expecting to hear a massive change. And when I first tried them, they sounded there was a bit more detail coming through. But the one thing which really stood out by a long way was what you call the sound stage. And the separation. It's yeah, it was a big leap. I'm very happy with the way to change the sound. The other thing with this kind of amp as well is that I wouldn't recommend it with like earbuds or anything that just pops into your ear. It's more so designed for me anyway, for bigger headphones, and something that you'll have probably spent at least, I would say, like £100 or like $150, if that's the equivalent. But something you've paid a little bit of money for, just to get the most out of it. And I could be wrong, but I personally think that they're probably more suited to an what you call an open back headphone, just because of the sound that they can produce, which is the ones that I've got, which is going to be my next video, because I've got some new earpads for my LCD2 headphones. But yeah, for anyone who's wanting to try out a tube amp, they don't want to spend a lot of money, but they want to see what all the fuss is about. Again, I'll stick a link in this one as to which one this was. But I highly recommend, if you want to give it a go, this is probably the best one that you can put your money on. And unless you've got money to burn or you get really taken by it, this will probably be as good as you're going to need, because I mean, power wise, it'll drive anything. It's ridiculous just how powerful this thing is, and it's tiny as well. I mean, it's like the size of your hand. It's I mean, you can stick it anywhere. So even if you just want an amp, just for your PC, not necessarily just for audiophile things, if you're going to run through some speakers through it or something, you really cannot go wrong. I'm very impressed by this, and another highly recommended bit of kit. Okay, bye.